Hi and welcome to Best in Tesla. So it is looking grim for the legacy automakers, and that is not just me saying that. Stellantis is out saying that the automotive industry is in survival mode. BMW is out saying they are seeing weak demand in China while they get a shock to the system. And Ford is paying billions of dollars to Tesla that sits with all the cards on their hand, as Tesla has benefits in China the others don't have, and benefits in Europe the others don't have, and they have just got a little demand boost in the US as well. All this while we are seeing in real time the collapse of the legacy automakers. There is no hiding it anymore. So let's check it all out and let's dive right in. We have more collapses of the legacy automakers, and they speak more and more openly about it. As this week Stellantis was out saying that the automotive industry is in kind of survival mode. This was Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares that had this to say. The automotive industry is in kind of a survival mode. We are beyond fear. We cannot complain, we cannot hesitate, we have to concentrate our effort to stay alive. To stay alive, we need to achieve cost parity between electric cars and thermal cars. But another chapter opens here. We operate in a geographical region animated by chaos, and it is difficult to make predictions. Governments have decided to reduce purchase incentive, and this is holding back the market. Yes, Germany removing the EV incentive back in December has sent some shockwaves through the market, as Germany is the biggest market in Europe, and therefore this will have a big effect on the Europe market in general. So that is one of the reasons why the demand for EVs are down in Europe in 2024, but some markets are up, like my little country of Denmark, and in the big market like the UK. There is actually 18 countries that are up and only 13 countries that are down. So it's not that all markets in Europe are just down, but Germany is down, and that affects the whole market. If Denmark was down, nobody will probably notice. But it is a different story when it is the big Germany. So I am not so afraid of the drop in sales in Europe's EV market, as I only see this as a temporary slowdown because of this removal of incentives. But it will take up again, just like we saw in the UK. That also dropped in EV sales after they dropped the incentive back in 2022, but is back growing again now. But overall, I get why the legacy automakers are scared and in survival mode, as they are still struggling with EV sales while their ICE car sales are falling, and struggling so much with EV sales that the production of Stellantis Fiat 500e, for example, has been paused for 4 weeks due to weak demand. But again, we see the legacy automakers scrambling to find solutions, and Stellantis' solution is like the other old boys, once again, more hybrids. As the brand says, it will upgrade the factory to produce a hybrid 500 starting in 2025 or 2026. Again, a short-term solution that is like pissing your pants to stay warm. It won't last very long. But as Carlos says, they are in survival mode. They are not thinking rationally, but just trying to stay alive 1 quarter at the time, not thinking long term. Despite these hurdles, Tavares doesn't want the EU to delay the new CO2 targets. He told Agence France Presse that it would be surreal to change the rules now. Yes, in his interview, he claimed Stellantis has taken all necessary measures to keep up with the stricter regulations. My cars are ready, my people are ready, our factories are ready. Why delay? Is global warming no longer a problem? Right now, half of Portugal is burning. Yes, and I might just add that half of Europe is also drowning right now. So no, we still need the stricter emission target. That is coming next year. And that means that Stellantis and the other old boys need to sell more EVs to not get big fines. But many know they will not be able to do that, just like we see with Ford that is already prepared to use billions of dollars to buy zero-emission vehicle credits to not get these huge fines. As Morgan Stanley wrote in their latest note on Tesla, where they wrote Ford has disclosed it has accumulated firm commitments to purchase approximately $4 billion of zero-emission vehicle credits to help maintain fleet compliance on CO2 emission globally in the years ahead. The Morgan Stanley note states, Morgan Stanley estimates that up to 50% of those credits could be purchased directly from Tesla, potentially fueling $2 billion into Tesla's war chest. So maybe that is what Jim Farley meant when he said, "Take that, Elon.
Take that, Elon Musk.
Take that $2 billion, Elon Musk, and build some more EVs, because we don't know how to do that profitably." But it's not only Stellantis that is out talking about the trouble the legacy automakers are in. BMW is also opening up about the collapse they are seeing right now. As AJ wrote on X, BMW halted production at their main European plant for several days. A BMW speaker confirmed that it's due to demand problems in China, as I have made countless of videos about over the years. It is just nice to hear that from the old guys finally admitting the trouble they are in China. And the recent discovered brake system fault, where 1.5 million BMWs have to be recalled, is not going to help BMW's situation. China's total vehicle market has been contracting for several months, and the growing electrified vehicle market is dominated by local brands, except Tesla, of course. And as they wrote in Euronews, in a press release issued on Tuesday, BMW announced a revised forecast for 2024, anticipating a slight decrease in car deliveries. The company has also adjusted its EBITDA margin expectations, now projecting a range of 6 to 7%, down from previous forecast of 8 to 10%. Furthermore, the return of capital deployed has been downgraded from an earlier range of 15 to 20% to a revised range of 11 to 13%. BMW stated the delivery stops for vehicles that are not yet in customers' hands will have a negative impact on global sales in the second half of the year. The technical issues related to the brake system affected over 1.5 million vehicles and will result in additional warranty costs amounting to several hundred million euros in the third quarter. Actually, BMW said later it's going to cost about $1.1 billion to fix the braking system fault in the 1.5 million vehicles. See, now that is a real recall and not just an over-the-air update. And BMW said themselves, this isn't just an ordinary recall. This is a significant shock, said Ferdinand, director for automotive research. The company also highlighted the sluggish demand in China is impacting sales, noting despite government stimulus measures, customer sentiment remains weak. The competitive landscape in core markets including China and the US has significantly affected both volume and price realization, BMW added. The negative impact is expected to be more pronounced in the third quarter compared to the fourth quarter of this year. So Stellantis is out saying that legacy automakers are in survival mode. BMW is saying they see weak demand in China, and we got a significant shock because of the recall. So it seems like Carlos is going to be right with his prediction a while back when he said there will be a bloodbath. Yes, indeed. And we are seeing the start of it playing out right now. We are seeing Volkswagen Group planning to shut down factories in Germany for the first time in their history and is cancelling job security program that has been in place for more than 30 years. And Audi is looking for buyers for the Q8 e-tron factory in Brussels as the sales of the EVs is falling. An internal calculation suggested the Volkswagen brand might need to reduce its German workforce by up to 30,000 from the current 130,000 employees. Exactly what Herbert Diess predicted would happen if they didn't shift fast enough over to EVs. Additionally, the company plans to cut investment by around 20 billion euros in its next midterm planning, which would also affect the core Volkswagen brand. The development department is facing severe cuts, potentially leading to thousands of job losses. So while Volkswagens need to develop a new EV platform that can keep up with the competition, they are cutting down on their R&D spending. Probably not the way to go, and we are only a few months away from the stricter EU emission target taking foothold, combined with the lowering of the hybrid utility factor, all putting a great deal of pressure on the legacy automakers that are all above the emission target for 2025 as it is today, so they all have to do much better next year. But at the same time, the old guys are also feeling the pressure in China, their biggest market, where they cannot compete with the local brands, and Tesla that sits in a much better position than they do, as Tesla owns 100% of their factory in China, meaning they get 100% of the profits from their sales in China, whereas European automakers have to split their profits with the Chinese manufacturer that is actually producing their cars in the country. But at the same time, Tesla is also getting the lowest tariffs on their cars made in China exported to Europe, because they 100% own their own China factories, as these tariffs are meant to target the Chinese OEMs. And that is why Tesla's European tariffs has been lowered again for a third time. At the same time, Tesla also has a factory in Europe that is making the best-selling car not only in Europe but globally. So Tesla sits with a much better hand than any one of the European automakers. And Tesla is, unlike the European automakers, not seeing a decline in sales in China. They have just surpassed last year's numbers year to date and are heading for a new record in China yet again. But at the same time, we are seeing the US automakers like Ford and GM are struggling even more, as they have basically lost China and Europe altogether and is selling less than 100,000 EVs a year. So that is why Ford has been out saying that not only do they expect to lose about $5 billion in 2024 on selling their little amount of EVs, but they have disclosed it has accumulated firm commitment to purchase approximately $4 billion of zero-emission vehicle credits. And again, Tesla stands much better than the two other US automakers, as they will get about $2 billion from Ford in EV credits. And on top of all of that, the Federal Reserve cut rates by 50 basis points, which was announced on September the 18th, 2024. Immediately, this rate cut reduces the interest rate on loans, including auto loans, of course. This means lower monthly payment for the same car price, making cars more affordable for those financing these purchases. And that is about 85% in the US, so this will have a great impact on demand for car sales, making Tesla's already affordable electric vehicles even a better bargain. The others will of course also benefit from this, but Tesla just seems to sit with all the cards, getting paid billions by the competition, having the best deals in China, see no weak demand in China, and get the lowest tariffs in Europe, and sit with factories on all major continents in the industry: Europe, the US, and China, which the Chinese automakers are struggling with, as they are mostly situated with factories in Asia. And now Tesla gets a little helping hand to boost the demand for the EVs even more in the US. So we can see just how the old legacy automakers are collapsing and struggling with the shift to EVs, and all their promises of leading the race and catching up to Tesla all comes crumbling down. While Tesla looks stronger and stronger as time goes by, as all the FUD is getting debunked, as Tesla Cybertruck has taken the lead in the EV pickup truck race, and the semi-truck will come to Europe, and they are building their big factory, and they see no demand problem in China, and they just continue to execute and dominate with the best-selling EV in China, Europe, and the US, and disrupting the old guys, while they are forced to pay Tesla for doing so. Ouch. Yes, it's not looking too good for the legacy automakers. They are truly in survival mode, while Tesla is slowly taking the shape as the leader. not just in the EV industry, but the leader in the car industry of the future, that the others still have no clue how to catch up to. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.